Hey guys, what's up? You're back for another episode of Save Us You Presents Murai, show about what's happened, what's happening, and what will happen in the Malaysian creative arts industry, just to get the business shit out of the way. Sorry for last week not having an episode. It's really, I think, one of the bigger obstacles about like having um, this guest-based podcast show, especially during a pandemic. It's just really hard to like get to um, scheduling and stuff like that. And like, I'm not paying them to be on the show, so it's at their free will. So I'm not gonna be like, bro, why aren't you showing up? But yeah. So as usual, it's a Monday. Actually, no, we moved to Tuesday, so it's every Tuesday, weekly episode of Mulut. And if you like what you see and you want to support what we do, there's a donation link out there. But so far, Safe House is doing quite well with the recent renovations and stuff like that. So do come by for our events, and we'd just like to see your faces. And if you have any feedback, just let me know at s2u.pod or at safehouse.kl. I think that's the one. This week with me today, I have someone who I'm not super close with, but is more close with like my girlfriend Alicia, who I know has been going around. Um, actually, being I don't know, man. Like sometimes I watch Insta stories. That's mostly where I get the interest from. Where it's just like super fun. Production, and I don't know if you mostly just do corporate stuff, but like you produce and you direct shoots and product, I don't know, film production.
I produce and I assistant direct.
Assistant direct.
Yeah.
So let me just introduce her real quick. Farah Fazil.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good, good.
Are you nervous?
A little bit. I've never been on a podcast.
Okay. I mean, it's okay. It's a new thing. A lot of people get nervous as well. Tapi macam after the first 10-15 minutes, they're like, fine, I got.
I mean, I do like to talk. I do talk a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so like I introduced earlier today is that like earlier today, but earlier just now is that I definitely know that you've been around. My first introduction to you, I think I've just seen you like at events and clubs mostly, and then I heard that you were also managing VCR Bangsa at some point,
yeah.
and then you jumped to. I'm not sure the lineage of things are, but then I realized that you also work with wearekix,
Yeah.
creative production company.
Yeah. So basically I was working in coffee for the longest time.
Yeah. Oh, like as a barista.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when I was in college.
Where did you work?
My first coffee shop was called Molly Dukers
Where is that?
in Bukit Damansara. Like
Is
near
it still
Sid's.
around? It's
no,
not around
no,
anymore.
they closed down.
Uh-huh.
But that was like where I first learned how to make coffee. And that was like really fun for me, just
Okay.
like 20 or 21 years old at that point.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel the same way about just that barista lifestyle.
Yeah, and then I feel like people just do that as like a pit stop before their real job. But then I stuck
think
with
so?
it. Yeah, sort of.
You think so? I think a lot of people still is stuck with
Yes,
the
yes,
barista
no,
job.
of course there are
Not in a
people
bad
who are-
way,
yeah.
in like okay, you
But I'm
really love
just-
coffee way.
No, I'm just saying like a big bulk of people who used to work in coffee kind of use that as a pit stop before their real
Like
career.
like a stepping stone.
Yeah, just to like learn how to be in a working environment and how to like talk to people and
Is
have
it-
to like deal with customers and stuff.
But when like as if it's as a stepping stone, the next step isn't necessarily like F&B related or service related, right?
Yeah, I
A
know.
lot of people just venture into like a lot of different things.
Yeah, like maybe corporate world.
Yeah,
or-
it's so different. But like, I guess like you get to meet people.
You
It's
just-
not that stressful.
yeah,
not
it's
that
it's not that
much-
heavy to do. You know, you kind of just
yeah.
like
Not that much pressure. I could.
yeah.
I'm not sure actually. Alicia talks about IE from Thursdays
Oh yeah.
and how he's a very strict person to be to work with. I'm not sure if how many people here has this experience with him. And
I mean, like I used to go to Thursdays a lot.
oh, you never worked there?
No, I've never worked there.
Oh, okay.
It's a common misconception that I used to work at Thursdays.
Why is that a
or
common misconception?
Artisan TTDI because I'm there all the time.
Right.
Yeah, I used to hang out there. Like everybody was there. You know, I just feel like my life is like segregated into coffee shops. So the coffee shop is the port.
Yeah.
So the Thursdays was like a part of my life.
Yeah.
Like a section of my life. Thursdays / the grumpy cyclist.
Yeah.
So when Thursdays opened up, the grumpy cyclist opened up, which was like my first big thing that happened in my life, you know?
How old are you right now?
30.
So when you started working at what was the cafe? The
Molly
first cafe, right?
Dukers.
Was that when the cafe
Yeah, baru je.
like scene started going
Yeah,
up?
there wasn't a lot of coffee shops at that
What
point.
was that like? Wooden steel and
Yeah, wood and steel, artisan, butter and beans just opened up. Yeah.
So yeah, so maybe you're like one of the frontiers in this whole like cafe scene business.
I
Because
guess the more indie side, yeah.
what do you really? Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about like before the like coffee and all these
Yeah,
like
yeah,
really
yeah.
big franchises.
Or like
coming
big
up.
franchises. Like, I mean, I feel like VCR is quite big. That was the biggest
Oh,
company
true.
I've ever worked at.
Because it's also not Malaysian, kan?
It is.
This is Malaysian.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
it's Singaporean.
No, that's Pulp. Pulp is
Oh, okay.
Singaporean. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it started as a small one as well in Pudu.
Yeah, VCR was just like in this one. It's actually a house, like a two-story corner lot. Yeah. And then they made a coffee shop out of that, and people loved it.
You've always had this like experience with like being like in a service related thing, and especially like the cafe culture really started off like independent, really small team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Family type situations.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it really shaped a lot of like the landscape of how people really hang out in Malaysia. You got so
Yeah,
you meet
I mean,
a lot
like,
of people.
Yeah, I mean like bulan puasa, right? And then everybody's just like, where do we go? Where do we hang out?
Right.
Because because the coffee shop would be somewhere you eat, and then you're supposed to puasa, and then you like don't hang out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I never occurred to me that like meetings happened at coffee shops, hangouts happen at coffee shops. Everything.
Back then?
Yeah, until now, right?
Yeah.
Like people always have meetings at coffee shops. Like you don't have a meeting at
Mama. No, people do.
got lah, yeah. But a coffee shop's like more comfortable at aircon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it really shaped a lot of. At least I don't know why we're talking so much about coffee in general, but I do feel like it does shape a lot of young our age and below punya like livelihoods and how they approach hanging out in general and like meeting people. I think Thursdays was one of the bigger ones for me to really realize, oh, this is where number one, people who like really want to get to know people work, and number two, who like really want to be involved with like other people, just go and just hang out there.
Yeah. Kind of like make connections.
Yeah, and
right?
it's like it's not really a particular macam. Like I know in Malawati there's a lot of like celebrities and really rich entrepreneurs and stuff like that. Not Malawati, Setiawangsa, so whatever lah, around the area. But like when I look at Thursdays, it's like, oh, if you're like somewhat in the creative world or that you just want to like get to know people around that scene, you just show up to Thursdays and you're bound to like meet someone.
Yeah.
That's like involved one way or another.
Yeah.
You think that worked out for you the same way as well? Like why was it exactly that you were hanging out at Thursdays and Grumpy and Artisan so much in TTDI? Do you live here?
Yes. I mean, not in Taman Tun. I mean, I lived in Taman Tun for a bit, but I grew up in Damansara Perdana.
Yeah.
So that's just like 2 seconds away.
Yeah.
So I'm always in Taman Tun. And it's just comfortable at Taman Tun. Like, everything's here. You know what I mean? You come
think
here.
So?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like now since Safe House is in Taman Tun, like there's not a lot of places to eat. That's one thing for sure for
But
me.
it's, I mean, not a lot of places to eat, but there's a lot of like good food around, like the Chinese restaurants around here and stuff.
Come on.
Okay lah.
Which one? Don't say okay.
Don't be so picky
Are
lah.
you talking about okay?
No. Yonglan. Yonglan's my favorite.
that one.
The other side.
That one's not bad actually.
Yeah, the prawn mee is like
This
bomb.
one sucks.
Yeah,
This
but
one is not good.
It's
It's not
just-
even average. This one is just not good.
the chicken rice is okay. It's not bad.
Which one is this? Is it okay or fat? Fat.
Okay.
I don't know.
I've never
tried
been
the
to Fat
chicken
Fat.
rice.
I've never been to Fat Fat.
I don't know, man. I haven't had good experience eating here in general. Like, I don't really know where to go unless
But
like mamak lah.
where do you normally eat? Like, where's your favorite area?
Subang.
Oh,
I eat at
okay.
Subang quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, lah. I mean, like, that's because you live there. Like,
No,
for someone...
there's good food there.
And also, because I
There's
live
nothing in
here...
Damansara Perdana juga.
I hate driving to Subang because of the jam. You know what I mean?
I come from Subang every day here.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the same thing.
That's your choice.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Taman Tun is I think it's a strategic location, especially, okay, like cafes, because like it's close to KL, it's also close to PJ and Damansara. So it becomes like this like meeting point. But yeah, I don't know. Thursdays really, like for me, really developed some sort of like meeting and networking culture. And what did you study in school?
I did mass comm, but I never really finished it.
You didn't,
I don't have a degree.
you don't have a degree?
I don't have a degree.
So you dropped out?
I dropped out, yeah. So I was, when I was working at Molly Dukers, I was studying at Taylor's. I was doing mass comm.
Uh-huh.
And then
Wait, isn't that the same thing as Alicia?
yeah, but she's like my junior. So we didn't really bump into each other.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I kept like skipping school to go work. Like, I would say that I'm at school, but actually I'm at work.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
a funny thing. Why would you even do that?
I don't know. School is so boring for me. Like, I really couldn't focus.
So
at all.
You decided that like it wasn't for you and like it wasn't necessary?
Yeah, like quite literally so I was doing mass comm at Taylor's. I was doing this like Australian program.
Yeah.
And then this was the point when Taylor's was starting to what's the word? Getting like they were getting this British like twinning thing, and they were kind of pushing out this Australian Australian twinning program. Yeah. So it was I failed these 2 subjects.
Right.
And the next semester is the last semester that they're doing the exam.
Yeah.
And if I fail that, then I can't continue on with my degree.
Okay.
So I was just like, fuck it, tana.
So you just decided not to continue it?
Yeah, because I felt kind of guilty because I was wasting my parents' money.
That's a noble reason to drop out.
I guess it's noble, but then I was just lazy to go to school.
So was it like too much? Like, did you not feel like school was like something that you thought would be?
Yeah, I even picked like a course where it's like 100% assignment based.
Yeah.
There was no exams, and I thought that would be easy.
But
I just couldn't focus. Like when I had to like write all these essays about stuff,
you just didn't think that the classroom was suited for you, lah.
Yeah,
for me also though, I fucking hate school. Like I don't think I'll ever go back to that kind of situation where I have to like sit down in a class and do things pay to do things.
Yeah.
I think that also irked me a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. Like I didn't know that you dropped out from school. So like basically you just after that, which is like why the cafe scene or the cafe culture really like pushed for me means more because you are able to just get to know people from it, right? Like you didn't really have to do much with your education. You didn't have to like apply or anything.
Yeah.
Is that
it's
true?
It's all kind of like common sense and people skills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you know all the like people that you know now, like prior to the cafe culture?
No. I mean, before I worked in cafes, I was still in like sekolah menengah. So I wasn't really going out back then.
Yeah.
So when I started working in coffee, it was when I started like going out to parties and stuff.
Yeah, this is it. Like networking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like we stressed this in the previous episode with Daniel Adams. And he basically said that he just like went to parties and like got to know with like agencies and whoever. Just like the meeting point was at parties. It wasn't really like an application or like in their office or anything like that.
But then it kind of sucks if you don't have like social skills and then you go to parties and then...
I don't know. He claimed that they all claim that they're introverts lah.
Oh.
And I feel like if you're an introvert, you wouldn't have gone to a party in the first place.
Correct. Yeah, you'd be at home, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like too
and
too much anxiety.
I had to do it for my I had to do it for my future. So.
But yeah, I really think that going to parties like made me like know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then after that, you bump into them in a coffee shop, which is like a different setting. So you kind of like meet them all over again. You know what I mean?
Is it more of like a professional setting?
No, it's like there's not a lot of noise. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of distractions. So you can actually sit down and like talk to them and ask them like, what do you do?
Okay.
Like,
what kind of conversations have you had about like in these places?
In coffee shops?
Yeah.
I don't know, like...
You don't think that was like one momentous conversation that was just like directing your life to a certain direction?
No lah. Sometimes I feel like, you meet like older people. Like at that point I met like 30-year-olds when I was 22, and then they talk about their life and stuff. And then I don't know, they just feel really I just feel like when you're at a coffee shop you're kinda like okay with talking about your feelings. Right. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
No, it's like random people sit together. Yeah. Like I don't know this guy, but then he's my friend's friend, and then we kind of just like talk, and it's kind of nice.
Okay.
To just find out, like dig people's brains.
So I mean obviously you worked there, but you also like hung out with these places a lot.
Yeah.
But what made you jump from one cafe to another?
The pay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do they actually go up?
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. I mean, when I went to VCR, that was
Yeah.
like when I got like a big jump
Did
up.
they offer you the job or how?
Um, no, I kind of asked for the job, yeah, because my friend Nas, who's like
Uh-huh.
really into coffee,
Yeah.
he just got back from the UK, and he was working at a coffee shop that I was managing at that time, League of Captains. That's with like Pestle,
LOC.
yeah,
Yeah, the row.
yes, the
Jalan
row, yeah,
Dursami, right?
yeah. So I was there, and then he like really wanted to work at VCR, and then he went and worked at VCR, and then he was like, "Oh, VCR is so great," blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. And then I was like, "Oh, I pernah kerja kat situ ah." And then he kind of like told the boss, and then I sent in my resume, and then I had an interview.
Then you became manager.
No, I mean he told me that they were gonna open up a new branch somewhere around here, like Bangsa, Monkiara kind of area. And then I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, when that opens up, I'd like you to be the manager there lah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, sure. So I worked at the Pudu punya branch for a year. And then after that, Bangsa happened. And then I moved there and I became the manager.
But that's crazy, like based off your prior experience as barista only, right? Like, were you managing LOC?
Yo, I was managing LOC.
Oh, okay.
And I was managing the Grumpy Cyclist before that.
Okay. So how did that like jump happen?
To VCR?
No, to manager.
Oh, to manager.
Yeah, I just didn't. I think I'm missing this. Like, is it easy for a barista to become a manager?
I mean, it's not easy, but if you just have the skill set,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like you're organized and you know how to deal with people
Yeah.
to some extent. People like the owners will be like, oh, okay, this girl maybe she can be a manager.
So like from these independent cafes, when they like reach a certain threshold of like how big the business gets, they tend to hire managers so they don't have to think about it themselves.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay, and then you jump in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if they open up another branch, I would imagine then the manager could like move up and like jaga 2 branches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's how you move up, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the scalability of cafes never really like, I don't know, man. I just don't think about these things sometimes. I don't really know at what certain point do the owners like take their hands off and then
Oh. Yeah, I mean like
let it run.
I mean, some cafes don't want to go big because when you go big, you have more problems. Like, and you have like less time to think about your people, and you kind of like just keep growing.
Yeah.
And then you have investors, and then you have to start thinking about like how much profit you're making a month, and then you have to do like you have to get like your returns on investment.
This is business, lah, right?
Yeah.
So were you doing this for VCR?
Not really, but I was aware of what they were doing, lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were you doing? Like,
I was like just making sure that the cafe ran properly, lah. If there's any problems, operational, like if there's any like gaps in the system that we need to fix. But then I always had help from the upper ups.
Okay,
but
it's crazy that you didn't even go study anything for it and it just like came naturally to you. Have you had a business before or anything?
No.
Or have you had any prior experience to managing?
No, not really.
So what do you say it is?
I don't know, my mother.
Your mom?
Yeah, because she really knows how to like control me, I think. You know what I mean? Like teach me how to be organized and like think 3 steps ahead. You know? You know what I mean?
I guess so.
Yeah, like she's always been like kind of strict, but then it kind of worked.
Yeah.
Like I'm always like, because I feel like working in a coffee shop, especially like let's just say it's a full-time barista.
Yeah.
It's like playing a game, like playing a video game. You're just trying to get the orders out as quickly as possible with and the product needs to be good. So you kind of like strategize in your mind, like, okay, should I do this first? Should I do that first? And then there's also like food to send out. And then
okay, so like now I'm getting is mostly like operational management, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about marketing or anything like that?
No, marketing would be like
the owners are.
Yeah, or the person who's in charge of marketing.
Okay.
Yeah. So normally you shouldn't make your manager do that because that's just too much for them to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like you're just saying, like just like life experiences with your family, your mom,
Yeah.
and people skills kind of got you to the point of like managing one of the bigger cafes in like KL region.
Yeah.
As like at the starting point.
Yeah.
And I think it's also cool that you didn't study any of this. What you actually intended to study, mass comm, you didn't utilize at all in your
earlier
career.
Yeah.
You think you're utilizing it now?
I actually don't really retain anything I've learned. in uni, to be honest.
You don't think that you're like, all these like rappers who talk about dropping out school and stuff, don't you think that you kind of can become like that that role model?
Yeah, sort of. I mean,
Do you think about it, or like not having that degree?
I mean, I think it's pretty common nowadays for people to not have a degree.
Really?
I mean, the people like us, you know what I mean? Creative. Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like, if you want to work in a bank, then you definitely need a degree, But if you want to, like, work in film or music or the arts, right?
Like everyone has a degree.
Really?
I don't know, but that's just my feeling. I don't really like think about it, but like, do you know a lot of people
who don't have a degree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually.
Really?
Yeah, like a big bulk of my friends all did not get a degree.
Okay, so I mean I really can't say for this because I just auto assume that like it's just the natural, not natural, the more conventional way to go about things, just like get your shit out of the way first. Kalau tak ada degree pun ada diploma lah at least,
Oh, right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a degree, and most of the people I hang out with don't have a degree.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, because you're like establishing the skill sets that you actually need to get employed or like to actually have a career. Outside of what is on paper.
Yeah.
And
sometimes I feel like getting a degree is like, for me lah, it's a waste of time because then I'll be like 24 and only I'm starting a job.
No, a lot of people say that, but you can also have a job while studying.
Yeah, but it's quite hard.
Really?
I mean,
I was doing this like event managing thing since I was 17.
Really?
Yeah.
So part-time event management while
I
doing
would
your
never
degree.
call it event manage. I would never call it part-time because I just did it at my spare time.
Oh, okay. So you host events?
Yeah, I hosted events since I was Form 5.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I just kept doing it. And then Safe House is like the combination of all this like event management for those years.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I never really saw it as like a part-time job because I never really got paid for it. But like, it was something that I did on the side while, going study and stuff like that. But I do realize how a lot of people won't be able to do it because they just can't manage the time properly.
I mean, I guess if you really think about it, you can do anything you want to do if you really want to do it.
Yeah. Because like you have so much time, I think.
Yeah.
In general, you do have a lot of time.
Yeah. It's just that you waste it.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I don't think people necessarily waste it. I think people think about their priorities, and a lot of people's priorities is like chill out and like lepak and
right.
I don't know, like I don't know. If you're like stoned, for example,
yeah.
that whole preparing, smoking, and then high period is such a long time of your day that you could actually do a lot of things.
Yeah, you could have like watched YouTube and learned something new or something.
Or, worked at a cafe, or like host events. I don't know, because I was hosting the events. I mean, I was planning on organizing when I was in Berlin also.
Yeah.
Back in Malaysia punya events.
Right.
So it's just like utilizing the resources and whatever, and like, allocating time.
Yeah.
To be able to do more than what you think that you have. That's the only thing you have to do. So yeah, cool. But I think your priority also, you're like, fuck this is not necessary at all.
Yeah.
That's a bold move,
I guess it was, I mean, it looks bold from that point of view, but I think it was just me being like
noble.
No, so
we're
being spoiled. I just want to do what I want to do, you know what I mean?
Okay,
yeah, because like growing up in school, I wasn't allowed to go out at all. Like my mom was really strict.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to go out and watch like Harry Potter or something, I have to like plan a week ahead.
Yeah.
And buy the tickets and like plan everything. So when I turned 18 and I did my A-levels, I was just like going out all the time.
Yeah.
Like just doing nothing, like just lepak je, and just like meeting new people and doing new things. And then like
and then like a whole new world.
Yeah, and then I actually got a curfew when I was like 22. My mom like implemented a curfew. Yeah, that's how bad it was.
Because you just kept going out all the time.
You know the standard like, you got any hotel ke? You know, that kind of shit.
I don't know. I moved out when I was 18. Like I couldn't handle it. I was like, fuck this. I had a curfew till I was Form 5. I could.
Basically. You moved out and then you paid for it on your own and everything.
No, like I have a very fortunate, privileged family.
Okay.
But like a Okay, that it's like a very personal
Okay,
shit.
sorry. Okay, let's come back
But
here. Okay.
either way, I was just like, fuck this, because I couldn't handle it. But
Yeah.
like, my mom was strict also. Like I think I had to sleep at 9:30 or 10 till I was like Form 3,
Oh,
maybe.
like kena off lampu.
Yeah, and shit, like no phones, no laptops. Like
Oh.
she was, they were definitely fucking strict.
Yeah.
In that sense, was just when I like look at my friends and stuff, and they're like up past like 12, and just like, wow, what a crazy life. So maybe when I felt like, I moved out, felt like liberating and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like quickly, okay, I'm not gonna like go too hard on this shit.
Yeah.
And then Berlin also was like,
Yeah.
so I learned how to like discipline myself.
Right.
And I'm guessing you had the same kind of experience as well,
Yeah.
where it just became too much. Your mom
Yeah.
gave you a curfew, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. And I kind of like moved out after that because I couldn't stand the curfew. Because when you give someone restrictions,
Yeah. I
then
mean,
the
if
more...
you're 22, I don't think you should have a curfew.
Yeah, but tell my mom that. We argue a lot about that.
But like when throughout all of this, did you like when you're going out and like you're working in cafes and you dropped out and all of this like experiences, did you like have something in the back of your head? You're like, what you wanted to do?
No, not at all actually. And that gave me like so much anxiety because I was just like, is there something wrong with me?
So when you're meeting people and stuff, it wasn't like a conscious decision that okay, this could be something. Like this could be like an opportunity or whatever.
Not really. I just really like talking to people.
Okay, right.
Like,
so and then how did that evolve? Because now I'm just trying to get back into like the actual creative arts industry. Now you do like you work with wearekix, which is like the jump from cafes.
Yeah. So that was the first production house that I worked at.
How did that even happen? Like what was your role there?
I was the producer / the person who does all the admin work.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so the admin work came from what I learned from working at coffee shops.
So that's the managerial part.
Yeah. So I kind of just applied that to that job.
How did you meet?
So Ion, yeah. So actually, Ion shot me for this video called KL It's Alive when I was like at Molly Dukers.
A quick disclaimer: Ion is the guy who runs wearekix.
So he's the
company.
mastermind behind wearekix. Yeah. So he shot me for this video. He did KL Is Alive. So I met him and Jessica. Jessica used to work with him.
Right.
She was the producer there / like co-founder. And I always met him at parties.
Yeah, I see him a lot.
Yeah, or at coffee shops.
That less for me.
But more at parties, him and his like fedora.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell by his hats that it's him.
Yeah, it's him. Oh, Ion's over there. Okay, let's go say hi.
Oh, you networked with him before. I mean, you knew him from parties.
Yeah, and then like not every time, like whenever we have the time to talk, I'll ask him like, oh, what are you up to?
Yeah.
And then he'll tell me like whatever cool project he's up to. And then his Instagram always looked very interesting. And then when I worked at VCR Bangsa, Kix punya office is like kat belakang in the house. So he used to come over like quite often and like sembang lah, lepak ah. And then one day I was just doing work, like doing my schedule or whatever. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, being a manager, like organizing things. He's like, oh, do you know that this is what producers do? Like in my industry? And I was like, oh, really?
Really? Okay, I can we like also tab this and then like talk about it later?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this what producers do because I feel like a lot of people are like.
Oh, I can talk about it now because like in my head, music producers make music. So I thought film producers like
make film
like super like hands on.
I mean that's not necessarily the case because like music producers traditionally were the ones who just like made shit happen. Like they're not actually the ones that make the beats, the whatever, you know. Like they'd be in the studio, they'd hire musicians or whatever, and they make sure the singer's on time. I mean, they would produce, which is basically making shit happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right.
Would it be the same with like film and
yes, actually, like in traditional like the traditional film industry, the producer will be hired first, and then they will hire everyone else, get the director.
Right. Yeah. So what do producers actually do? Like, do they manage or?
They're kind of like, I want to think like they're the head of the whole project. They have to make sure that all the little moving pieces move.
Okay.
And fit in together.
Like a project manager? Would you say it's the same thing?
Kind Kinda, I guess. Yeah. So you pick who's gonna be the director, who's gonna do the art team, who's gonna do the sound, who's
Yeah.
gonna do the post work.
Yeah.
So that's what a manager does, and then they handle the budget.
Okay.
Yeah. But most importantly, they talk to the clients, whoever that wants to make this video.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
they're
so
like,
another conception of what producers do, I thought was they're the ones that fund shit, that fund the film. Because that's my understanding with the T3.3.
right.
They're kind of like,
I think
actually, I don't even know.
executive producers fund films.
Okay.
You know, like if Leonardo DiCaprio is the executive producer,
Yeah.
he funded it.
Okay.
And then he kind of has a say in stuff because he's like the investor. Macam tu.
Um.
Yeah, business wise, they're the investors.
Okay.
Or not like traditionally, like it's just a client lah. Like if it's the commercial world, like if you do a project for like McDonald's or something, then McDonald's pays you. McDonald's goes through an agency and then hires the production house to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So production house is a bunch of producers or what?
Production house is
See, I'm just clearing on these little terms.
okay. Yeah. So a production house is the team that makes the video.
Okay.
The director, the producer,
Okay.
the post house sometimes, like the guy who edits it.
So the
You know what I mean?
production house will have a producer,
Definitely.
and
yeah.
then the producer will find all the other moving parts. So
Yeah.
the director.
I mean,
will
like a production house doesn't traditionally have to have a producer, director, and everyone in it. It could just be like two people.
right.
It could even be like two producers, and
Okay.
then they just hire freelancers. But yeah, the production house has to make the film happen.
Okay, and usually I'm assuming most of it is your clients are like corporate clients, right?
Yeah, sort of like half. Sometimes I do music videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just go back to wearekix.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now we understand what producers do and
Yeah.
what a production company does.
Yeah.
A production company is wearekix, and you were hired as a producer.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. How was that? That was your first venture into like the creative world.
Yeah. It was kind of like I was kind of scared to get out of coffee and go into production because it's like a whole new world, and I was just like, I have to start all the way from the bottom. I have to like learn everything from scratch.
But the role that he gave you was on the bottom.
Yeah, but I would still have to learn everything from scratch because
Yeah.
I literally have never even been on set.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like,
You didn't finish school.
I didn't finish school.
You knew all you knew was coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
And then you moved into like one of the more bigger independent production houses in Malaysia.
Yeah. So that was kind of scary for me, like really scary. And I was just like, should I do this? Should I not? But then, Ion's like really welcoming and
Yeah.
like there's a lot of like open communication with him. He told me exactly what I was gonna do there, and he told me like all the good things and all the bad things. So I wasn't like really thrown into the pool like blind or anything.
So he kind of held your hand through it,
Yeah.
Yeah. So how is it like actually like running a production company? What the way in my head is that like how a lot of production company when I talk to Zul and 33.3, there's a client, and then they kind of like want to, if it's a corporate client, they want to promote like some product for advertising or whatnot. If it's a music video, it's a music video. Like that's just creative all around. There's not much to promote other than the actual song. But there's a lot of moving parts. Like it's not like musicians nowadays, for example, they just do it by themselves, and they don't really have to depend on like so many other people, the manager or the publisher or the beat maker, whatever lah. But in order for you to do a production and to execute a production, you need a lot of people, regardless.
Yeah.
Like even for this shoot, I can't do it by myself. Like I have to have at least like one or two people, to just help out, record, and just be around.
But I think one thing about Kicks is that it's kind of like wholesome. Everybody is doing it in-house.
Yeah.
There's a producer, which is me, and at that time Sarah. And then Ion is the director. Like he comes up with the concepts, and then we all like brainstorm together. And then he has two people shooting and also editing, and then a sound guy, and then two VFX people.
That's a lot of people.
So that means that's like 8 people. And then sometimes if the project's like really big, we will get interns to help out, like just do all the nitty-gritty stuff. So that means that Kix can like produce a video from start to end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to what I'm doing now, being a freelancer.
Yeah.
Like just
You also have to outsource people.
yeah, correct. Yeah. And like working with different people every time. But with Kicks, it's like most of the time it's just us.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if it's like a bigger project, then we would need like, say, an art team or something. Yeah.
Or
like a costume designer.
Well, a big part, I'm assuming, for Kicks is getting clients, huh?
Yeah. I think Ion has a lot of connections.
So he does most of that.
Yeah, because he's been here for like 10 years.
Malaysia,
yeah. And he's like in the scene, so he kind of like knows a lot of people. But there's always like recurring shoots that we do every year, especially music festivals. Like it's the ship.
Yeah.
And then there's this like festival in Bangkok called S2O, which is like the water festival. So just imagine like an EDM rave, but with water shooting out at you.
Right.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
Wow.
Kan you're at a Songkran, right? Have you heard of Songkran? They're
No,
like
I don't know any. I'm not a festival guy, but yeah, I don't know.
So in Thailand, once a year they have Songkran Festival, which is a water festival. So they just go out in the streets and just like spray water at each other.
Okay. And then this is like a music festival based on that.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a few music festivals there that do the same
So
thing.
yearly, you guys are hired to
Yeah.
shoot the reel,
Yeah.
the show reel. Is that
It's called the Aftermovie.
Aftermovie?
So basically, we come in with like the whole team.
Yeah.
And then we shoot everything. Like we know what the whole schedule is, like what's happening, any like side activities happening.
Yeah.
We have to shoot that, do some sponsor shots, and then we just put the video together, and that's the after movie lah. It's kind of like to promote. It's kind of like to promote next year's one also.
Okay.
Like this is what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a marketing thing.
Yeah.
And you do that for Malaysian festivals as well?
It's the ship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's the ship.
It's also fun that you guys just get to go to these things in.
Yeah, it's damn fun, dude. Like seriously, I've never traveled so much in my life until I joined Kicks.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, has Kicks been around for so long?
Yeah, they
How long has
have
it been?
like, I think like 2013.
Oh no, that's not that long. What the fuck? That's 7. But like the scale of the
Yeah.
projects are like
big.
yeah. But I do
And
I can see in the quality of the production, the production value is like it really is like it's well done, right? Like I can't say much other than it's well done. And I guess like these clients do
pay well.
see the
Value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In hiring Kicks.
Yeah. One thing about Kicks that I like is that Ion gets jobs straight from the clients, like from the brands itself.
Okay.
So we don't have to go through an agency, which is what normally production, like commercial jobs, that's where it comes from. So there's an extra layer, yeah.
Where they like vet things and see if it's okay, and then it becomes a bigger process.
A longer process, more complicated
Okay.
lah. And I realize that clients are less picky on what they want, and they kind of like trust what Kicks can do.
Do they trust Ion or do they trust Kicks?
Ion is Kicks,
Right.
yeah.
So like the QA, QC and whatever, all these things about what
it's
the actual
always,
product.
Yeah, it's always
you
Ion.
go through it.
So
Okay.
Ion will like come up with some sort of like basic idea,
Yeah.
like some crazy thing he came up with, and then
Yeah.
we'll all have a meeting, and then we'll brainstorm it, and then kind of come up with like little things just to like make it more cohesive, and then we shoot it, and then we'll edit it, and then the last bits of it, Ion will like
You'll
check.
go through.
Yeah. And he'll be like, okay, we have to change this. We have to change. He'll just
Cool,
put his
cool,
little, yeah.
That's quite interesting that he's able to like establish that kind of company for like. I mean, I don't think 7 years is that long, honestly. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's independent, right?
No, I mean
the way
like
that
because he's been here for 10 years only, so
to get to know all the people.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I should talk to him also.
yeah, you should interview him.
It's his hat, man. It just throws me off. Like I can't say much
The
about.
first time,
I just-
like the first day I went to work, I was like, oh shit, am I going to see the top of his head?
Did you?
Yes, I did. He took
Oh,
off his
okay,
hat, and
what
I was
the-
like, oh, okay, that's the top of Ion's head.
I was just like, it's just so you can just see it from like a mile away, and you know it's the
Yeah.
guy. He's also like a very like energetic dude.
yeah,
But yeah, like it's cool to. So you had that foray into the creative world of production,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of management, like you said, and the
Yeah.
creative side you're not really like dabbling into.
yeah,
Do you?
little bit, I guess, not so much.
Yeah. Like for me, I wouldn't say I'm a creative. Like in say files and whatever I do, like don't think podcasting is necessarily that creative.
I mean, it is sort of like you have to.
But my point is that it's more for me. It's just more of just like getting to know the right people. Who do I want to book for like the next event? It's like management as well. Like the creative side, I think I don't really like dabble too much into. Like that would be like Lisha or Arif, and then they have more input into that.
Yeah.
But like, being in the creative industry as a whole, it kind of makes you think creatively.
Yeah.
You're
kind of like just surrounded by it.
Yeah, and then you kind of jump into it regardless. So you would, at the end of the day, have a say. Because I'm assuming now, the shoots that you do, you have some sort of like creative say as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So you do. So you do think that you.
Yeah, but I do not start off with the ideation. Like I just give advice or input. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that then COVID didn't do well for Kicks.
Yeah, COVID. Because Kicks had a lot of, music festivals. Obviously, that's not happening anymore.
So most of the client base also just...
I mean, the steady income was,
Right.
Yeah, because it's like every single year, like confirm.
Okay.
And then Kicks was doing like a lot of projects with overseas companies, so can't travel, so...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're quite big in the region as well, like Southeast Asia, right?
Yeah. Like they did before I joined, they did like Air Asia, like travel shows.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so they would like travel literally they would.
Do clients see the actual product and they're like, this is why we want Kicks?
Yeah, they love it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed like watching it.
Right.
Like they would travel to an island for like maybe 4 days, come back for 2 days, and then travel to another island for another 3-4 days.
Crazy.
For like, I don't know how long, maybe 2 months or something like that. It's like 5 episodes or 6 episodes.
But they're like these larger scale ones. It's not music videos. They're all corporate,
Yeah, they're
right?
not, yeah. So they're
this
like...
is just what I'm assuming. Like how the actual financials and the business and how it actually runs is through corporate clients, right?
Yeah. That was with Air Asia. So yeah, that's a corporate client. Yeah.
I mean, like these festivals as well. I mean...
Yes, yeah, like Livescapes,
I mean, yeah, because I just assuming like if you want to be able to sustain such a big, large size of a project or shooting and production, I don't think like independent musicians or I don't know who these kind of clients would be able to afford.
Yes,
such
correct.
a big scale team like you guys and flying here and there.
Yeah.
So I heard COVID didn't do too well to Kicks.
Yeah.
And they gave us their coffee table. Ping
Oh,
pong
yes,
table.
yes, yeah.
So we had a fun time playing ping pong
I'm happy
for
that
a
you
while.
guys are enjoying it.
But and then after that you just ended up freelancing.
Yeah, so
you were stuck with the producer role.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I kind of really like it.
Okay.
So like end of last year, I decided to leave Kicks. I think Ion needs a break also. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now he's just like chilling and doing whatever projects that he actually wants to do. You know what I mean? He can like be really picky, which is kind of nice.
What about you?
I
how is it like freelancing? Because you've never really had that.
Yeah, I've always had like
right?
a full-time job.
An employer.
Yeah, an employer, like a stable income every month. So when I wanted to switch over to freelance, I was like really nervous.
Yeah.
Like super scared. I think like one of the biggest decisions I ever had to do in my life.
Are you mostly doing it alone? Like
freelancing?
Do you have like a partner that you do everything with, or is it mostly some stuff that you do?
I work with Matthew a lot, Matthew Chow. He's like a DP. So at first when I did switch over to freelance, obviously I wasn't getting a lot of jobs yet.
Yeah.
And then he just got me to assist him. So I kind of like learned about
what does he do? Is he like
He's in the camera team, so he does DOP work, which is director of photography.
Is he employed?
He's also a freelancer.
Oh, okay.
He used to work at Kicks.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm just understanding like who gets your clients? Like is it you? Like who's taken over that Ion job when you're freelancing, the business side of things?
Yeah, sometimes Matt gets jobs and then I'll help produce for him.
Yeah.
And then sometimes other production houses like Den House.
Yeah.
Yeah, Den House gets jobs and then they will like ask me to help out.
And you guys are just closely knit friends
Yeah. Like for Dan House, like I really like working with them. They kind of like stumbled upon Matt on Instagram and just DM'd him like, hey, we have a project. Do you want to shoot for us? And then Matt said okay. And then they were macam ngam gila. Like him and the director, Adriana, they're like, they have the same brain.
Yeah.
Like they know exactly what the other person wants.
Yeah.
So they like really ngam lah when they work. And then obviously because I'm close with Matt, then I get to
Up along.
yeah, and then they kind of like, oh, we like you too.
Right.
Yeah.
So usually, like, I mean, like for Den House, they don't have like their own in-house producer.
Yes, they do. So Razlan Shah is their in-house producer. And then
So when they get you along, what do you do?
so Razlan moves up to executive producer.
Right.
Or like kind of like co-produce lah,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the shoot that we just had a few weeks ago with PUBG.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram.
It's so fun.
Fucking crazy.
So that was like my first proper project with them.
With Den House.
With Dan House, yeah. So they got me on as a producer because it's like a really big project, so they needed help. Yeah, so Razan was like kind of like co-producing with me lah. Yeah.
How is it working with like creatives like what is that? The comedian. Oh my god. The show. I know that you worked on it.
Oh, Harvin Skin.
Harvin. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, how was it working with him? Like, I mean, I'm not so sure that was sponsored or something, right? But like,
Yeah,
it's
that
mostly
was-
under him, right?
So basically this whiskey brand from India called Doers
Yeah.
approached Harvind to do like a YouTube late night talk show. And then Harvind obviously called Ion. And then
Oh, that was with Cake.
that was with Kicks.
Oh,
that was
okay,
like
okay,
my
okay.
last
Right. I
project
thought
with
that was
Kicks.
just like your freelancing stuff as well.
Yeah, so that was with Kicks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did that.
And like now, since you've been freelancing, have you been working with any creatives?
I mean, I've only been freelance. Okay, so
How long has this been?
no,
Man, I can't
it's
even
it's only
tell.
been a few months.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
I left Kicks end of October, and then November and December I was just like chilling.
Yeah.
Like kononnya macam
And
I
then
need
you
a
get
break.
PUBG.
Yeah. No, and then I was like, okay, so in January I'm gonna like go get jobs and I'm gonna start making money again, and then bam, MCO 2.0 happened,
Right.
and then I was like, fuck, like I don't have any more money.
So you just decided like,
And then after that, like, right after MCO got lifted a bit, like it was CMCO,
yeah.
I started
It's all
getting jobs
recent.
a bit. Yeah, like literally, I mean, this month was my real month, like really being a
Freelancer.
freelancer.
How
yeah.
is it?
It's like hectic. It's really hectic, but it's damn fun.
You're not the one that's chasing payments though. You're like being outsourced, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Okay.
correct. I'm not chasing payments.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I always see Alicia working like fucking till 2 a.m. and stuff, freelancing with like clients. That's not the life for me. Like, I don't agree with it. You know, like why there's too much, you know?
Yeah,
And then like you have to, like I said, like chase payments and stuff like that. It's just like,
I mean, you like what you like, you know.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
Because it's up until now, it's like still a reasonable career for her. Like she's still getting paid, and I'm guessing you are also.
yeah.
But like those kinds of like insecurities that you cannot have, like whether the client will not be too demanding or
Oh,
you know
yeah.
will understand your like boundaries and stuff like that. Those
Yeah.
kinds of things just for me, like when I see it, I just don't. I'm not into it, you know, and like I don't know what to say for like people who intend to freelance in general.
Right.
But like from your experience, it's been these few months, lah.
Yeah, for a few months in.
How has it been? I mean, like I guess if you're with the right people and
Yeah.
if you're at a big enough industry that like such as production that can do with corporate clients, then it's not
It's not too bad. Yeah.
stressful.
Yeah, I mean it is stressful like time wise. Sometimes before you do the video is pre-production time, right? So you're planning out on how to shoot the video.
Okay.
And sometimes it's just like for PUBG, it was literally 8 days. And that's
Is that a lot of time
No,
or is
that's
that a
not a
little
lot of time.
okay.
Normally people comfortably would have like 3 or 4 weeks
Right.
to do pre-production. Yeah. So
How,
this
how
one was
long
like,
of a video is that?
like right now we're still editing. It's like 7 minutes.
Is it a 7-minute video?
Yeah, that's what they're aiming for, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a bit shorter. Yeah, because it's like narrative.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like like a short story-ish. Yeah.
Do you recommend people do what you do?
Yes, definitely.
Is that not enough?
Um.
I don't think so. Like honestly, like independent kind of like these production houses.
Yeah, there's not enough.
Yeah, I know like here and there's Rocket Mob and they're mostly focusing on I guess like music videos. And 33.3,
Yeah.
Den House.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know like a lot of like start like Atong.
Yes. Yeah.
He does it by himself, right? Or does
No,
have a
he has
studio?
Tong Tong Asia,
Yeah, but they're not a production company.
sorta like
Really?
creative company.
Creative solutions,
Yeah,
kind of.
sorta,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there is enough. I mean, there could never be enough.
I don't know.
Because different people have different styles. Like quite literally all of the production houses that you listed out just now
Yeah.
all have their own
Distinct.
style. Like when you watch it, you're like, oh, okay, that's Atong, you know? That's 33.3. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, I'm
But, like equipment and all that shit, just like being able to like start up, doesn't it cost like a lot of
yes, it does, but
initial investment?
but you can always rent.
Uh,
There's no need to buy your own equipment.
So what would be the first step? Get the client.
Yes, get the client.
How would they know? How would they know if you're capable?
Put all your work up on Instagram.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, like, I feel Instagram is the best way to promote yourself, the easiest way to promote yourself.
Yeah. Even to like these corporate clients.
Yeah, because they will check out your Instagram. I
Oh,
mean, you know what I mean?
regardless?
Yeah, like if you're a production house, you just post up everything that
yeah,
you've
yeah.
done. And it also kind of shows how you know how to showcase your work, which is also a skill. Yeah, like you wouldn't know that I did PUBG if I didn't post it like a million times over the
They
course
had
of
like
3 days.
buggies and shit like that. It was just
It's damn
insane. I
fun.
mean, but you could also imagine what PUBG is like, lah.
Yeah.
No,
So
I
basically,
wouldn't know.
that part of the video, we had like guns and stuff.
Yeah,
It's damn
real
cool.
guns.
No, it's like fake guns, but they're like 1-for-1, so
Yeah.
they're actually heavy
Yeah.
and they're airsoft, so they kind of go like a bit.
Yeah.
It's damn fun. And then we had like stuntman.
Wow, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, damn cool.
So like, who does the linking up, the networking?
I mean, it was just like all of us together.
Okay.
Like we're like, oh, okay, we worked with this stuntman guy, like
No,
in
but
this
like,
other shoot.
no, who got PUBG?
Oh, Dan House got PUBG.
Okay.
Yeah.
They approached them, alright?
Yeah, so like they were one of the product. So an agent. So PUBG goes through an agency. The agency will like kind of pitch it to a bunch of production houses,
Okay.
and then the production houses will come back with their like ideas
Yeah.
on what they want to do the video
Yeah.
and their quotes for the video, and then best man wins.
Like
I
tender,
guess. Yeah,
That's cool. I never
Yeah.
thought it was like that
like that.
that intricate of a system.
yeah.
Like what are these agencies?
Like the one for PUBG is Tencent Media. They're
Oh, the
in
fucking
Singapore.
yeah. I don't know what. There's
Yeah,
an
they're
app,
big.
right?
They're big. Yeah. They're very big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, like,
Cool. Oh, it's not like these like creative agencies, like advertising agencies.
I did you?
Or did you got?
Yeah, I did you
They
got?
play the same role, lah.
Yeah, like C27, the
Uh-huh.
one that Alicia's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was talking about.
So they would also do that similar kind of like tendering process with production.
I mean, it doesn't always have to be a tendering process. Sometimes they're just like set on the production house. Like they're like, okay, we want
Okay.
Dan House.
Unless they also like consider their own in-house shit, lah.
Yeah, but then
Okay.
normally if it's like a bigger project, they will definitely get a outsource a production house, and then, well, it depends on the agency lah. If they want to like vouch for you,
Yeah.
you know, if they want to tell the client, macam, we must have this production house, like they're the best. Like let's not even try to ask any other production houses.
To me, this just sounds like way past my, what like I'm familiar with and just like don't really work with like
Yeah.
a lot of like these corporate companies. We never had sponsors.
Yeah,
Even like like cigarette companies we've never really approached.
yeah,
Me personally, lah, I just never felt comfortable doing that. But like I can see like if you really step out of that comfort zone,
you'll
it
learn.
could really change a lot
Yeah,
with like your company and what you able to do.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I'm assuming from that PUBG you guys can sustain for quite a while.
It was. I mean, the shoot was also like quite. There was a lot of things happening,
Yeah.
so we had to pay people too. So
Yeah.
it wasn't just like, oh, okay, Dan House gets like a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. we did what we could. We wanted to make like the best video.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean for sure. But like,
Yeah.
it's just like the one of those like track record shit where people are just like, okay, wow, they did PUBG.
Yeah,
then they're
yeah.
able to like execute like bigger projects and whatnot.
Yeah. I
yeah.
can't wait to see like the final.
Or that.
Yeah, like I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, me too. I mean, yeah, I just want to know what you're able to do, like anything at all.
Yeah.
Where was that even? Like some desert?
It was at Puncak Alam.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Serious, that's where we fucking shot my fucking Hiran wanted to shoot a music video. For me personally. And I think it was at Puncak Alam. Can't hear it.
He's on his headphones.
No, but it was like I don't know if it's a desert. I don't know what it is like, but it's just like
it's like a
barren
stranded
land.
it's a stranded land.
Yeah.
So they were supposed to like build like houses or something.
Okay.
And then it never worked out. So
that's so
yeah.
fucking sad to hear.
But then people always do shoots there lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've reached the 1 hour mark.
Okay.
It was nice talking to you. Like I learned quite a lot, honestly. Honestly, like I didn't know most of the shit that you told me and how like things work. But I do see like how production houses, companies can really like make, I don't know, like run a legitimate business.
Yeah.
Especially when you know the right people, when
Yeah.
you utilize the skill sets that like you learn along the way.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess like the biggest part is also like ensuring the quality and the value of the actual product.
Yeah.
Because wearekix like damn fucking good. Den House also did the video for Airlift's song, right?
Yeah, the dancing one.
The dancing one.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of my most favorite music
Really?
videos of last year. Like it's so different. Like a lot of music videos now are just like too bland, I think. That one just gave a nice little storyline and energy.
Yeah.
So I think that was like really well done. So I think like at the end of the day also, apart from networking and knowing people, like the actual product.
Yeah, you have to have the skills lah.
Yeah.
Or at least you have to wanna do something new. You know?
And for your side, like as a producer, you think like it's necessary that these play that role in the company?
Yeah, definitely. One thing I like about production is that every single role is important. Like without one person, another person has to do like double or triple the job.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean like I don't know, like can I say management? You can also just like, are you like also basically managing the
whole shoot, yeah. Like from start to end like that.
And you think like in these situations, like it's a really like necessary step?
Yeah, especially like having to talk to clients, having to like make sure they're happy with what we want to do as a production house.
Yeah.
I think that's really tough also to try to sell your ideas. Like for PUBG, we had like full creative control, yeah. Like the clients were like super chill. Like Tencent was like, "This is great." They were like, "Okay, cool." Like,
I mean, I don't know. I think like when you reach like a certain level, because like it's always the not so big companies
that's
that are like anal a
nitpicky,
bit.
yeah.
But the really big companies just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like they actually trust the
I
process.
don't know. I just feel like they have enough money to like splurge to be able.
Or they
to
don't
do
have time to even like think about it.
They don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know. This is quite a cool entryway to like really understanding. Actually, a pivotal part of like videos and film production in like Malaysia, because I don't think that there's a lot. And if you are keen and like a filmmaker and producer or editor, director in a group.
Yeah, and do something.
And do something. Like, because honestly, it is expensive, I think, at first, but you recommended renting.
Yeah.
As long as you know the right equipment and how to use it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
You can even use your phone.
I don't know about this, man. Like on YouTube, they're much like pro uses iPhone versus beginner uses Red camera or some shit like that. And it's always like, oh, wow, the iPhone is so good.
Yeah.
But like,
or like,
because we bought this shit. Right, we bought this camera because like we really thought that like we tried using iPhones and stuff. It runs out of battery lah, or like somebody fucking calls, and I don't know. It's just not as
or just like I mean, like the greatest entryway into the production world is just to be an intern. Yeah, and then they'll just have you on shoots assisting,
just to get to know.
Yeah, then you can like kind of watch how people work.
You don't think you have to go to school for this?
No, you do not need to go to school for this. You literally can learn. I mean, of course, there's like terms and like skills that you do learn in film school that is important. But you can always just learn on the job and watch YouTube. Like seriously, you can learn
Yeah.
anything on YouTube.
And a lot of these like companies are open to having interns and like
I mean, I don't know how companies are doing now during the
right.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but or you could always just like offer yourself for free. I just
Right.
want to be on set.
Yeah.
Like I can just help you carry chairs and tables in the cooler box.
Or you think that's a valuable experience, though?
Yeah, just to see how every single person on set works. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Cool.
cool.
Thanks, Farah, for joining me.
Thank you for having
It
me.
was nice to get a glimpse of the world, and I do believe that like you guys can learn a thing or two. And maybe just like the networking part is also important. Just like get to know yourself, sharpen your skill sets.
Yeah,
You don't have to go to school for it.
yeah, it's very important.
All right. So if you want to check out what she does at
Oh, it's Fala. It's like FAL, and then there's 6 A's at the end. That's my Instagram.
also at denhouse.co.
Danhouse Co at Instagram, on Instagram, yeah.
Denhouse Co is who she's like working mostly with right now. wearekix, obviously, a
Yeah.
big production company. You guys should know that by now. Yeah, so it's Farhan. Save Us You presents Mulut Murai. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye bye.